Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village, there lived a blacksmith and his young son. One morning, the son came to his father with a strange request. "Father," he said, "please make me a knife with the sharpest blade you can possibly forge." The father, a wise man, looked at his son with concern. "A knife is no toy, my boy, it's dangerous. Tell me, what do you need such a thing for?" But the son was evasive. "Just make it for me, father. I really need it." He pestered and pleaded until the blacksmith, worn down by his son's persistence, finally gave in. He went to his forge, and with a heavy heart he crafted a fine, sharp iron knife. But the moment he handed it to his son, the boy's demeanor changed entirely. His eyes turned hard, and his voice became cold and menacing. He held the knife up to his father's throat. "If you refuse, I'll use this very knife to separate your head from your body." The poor blacksmith trembled, seeing the pure rage in his son's eyes. He cursed himself for ever forging that blade. He was trapped. If he went to the king with such an audacious demand, he would surely be executed. If he stayed, his own son would kill him. After a long, agonizing moment, he made a decision. It was better to die with a shred of honor at the hands of the king. To be remembered as the blacksmith who dared to dream big, than to be murdered shamefully by his own child. So, gathering every ounce of courage he had, the blacksmith walked to the royal palace. He stood before the king and, in a trembling but clear voice, requested the princess's hand for his son. The king flew into a furious rage. "You insolent fool! A lowly blacksmith dares to ask for my daughter. I should have the executioner behead you on the spot." But just as the guards moved forward, the king's wise vizier leaned in and whispered, "Your Majesty, killing him will only create a scandal. The story will be twisted and told in every corner of the kingdom. Let us be clever. Let's give him an impossible task. That way we get rid of him without any bloodshed." The vizier then turned to the terrified blacksmith. "We will consider your request," he said smoothly, "but on one condition. Your son must perform a feat that no one in this world has ever seen or even heard of before." The blacksmith could hardly believe his luck. He was alive. He thanked God for his narrow escape and rushed home to tell his son the news. Realizing they couldn't stay in their village any longer, the father and son packed their bags and set off on a journey to find a miracle. They wandered for days, their journey leading them into a deep, dense forest. Soon they came upon a peculiar sight. Under a shisham tree, its yellow flowers blanketing the ground, sat a man. His leg was thrust into a small, makeshift stove, and flames were shooting out from his foot. He was using this fire to heat a cauldron of oil, in which he was frying pakoras, eating them as if this were the most normal thing in the world. The blacksmith and his son were speechless. "This," they whispered to each other, "is surely something the king has never seen or heard of. We must learn this skill." The blacksmith approached the man. "O servant of God," he pleaded, "please take my son as your apprentice and teach him this incredible art." But the man just shook his head. "Go further into the forest. You will find my master there. Perhaps he will take your son. I do not have permission to teach anyone." So they continued their journey. Before long, they found another man sitting under a huge banyan tree. Just like the first man, his leg was in a stove, but the flames bursting from his heel were even bigger. He was using them to fry sweet, swirling jalebis, which he devoured with great relish. "This is even more wondrous," they thought. Again, the blacksmith begged the man to take his son as an apprentice. And again, he was refused. "Go ahead," the man said. "My master is up ahead. He might accept him." They walked deeper into the woods until they reached a jujube tree, heavy with sweet, ripe berries. There sat a third man. His leg was in a stove, and the flames roared higher and hotter than anything they had seen yet. He was boiling sugarcane juice, turning it into rich golden jaggery, which he molded into shapes and ate. This, the blacksmith thought, is the most amazing feat of all. He approached the man and made his plea one last time. "Please, I beg you, take my son and teach him your art." To their surprise, the man agreed. "Very well," he said, "I will make him my apprentice. Take this key, lock him in that room over there, and return in 1 year." The blacksmith, overjoyed, did as he was told. He led his son to a small, windowless room, sat him down inside, and locked the door from the outside. As he turned to leave, the man took the key back and said, "Come back for him after 1 year has passed." Alone in the dark room, the boy waited. Hours turned into days. He grew desperately hungry and thirsty, but no one came. He started to look around his prison, and a chill of pure terror ran down his spine. The floor was littered with human bones. He realized the horrifying truth. "How many others have died here before me?" He whispered to himself, "My father and I were tricked. This monster is going to let me starve to death." Tears of despair streamed down his face as he imagined his own bones joining the grim pile. But just as he was about to give up, a spark of defiance lit within him. "As long as I can still breathe, there is still hope," he resolved. He searched the floor and found a piece of bone, sharper even than the knife he had once threatened his father with. He began to dig at the mud brick wall, scraping and clawing, day and night, without rest. Finally, he managed to carve out a hole just big enough to crawl through. He squeezed himself through the opening and found himself in a completely different world. He was in a lavishly decorated room, filled with fine carpets and silken curtains. In the center stood a grand bed, veiled with soft fabric. Curiosity got the better of him. He tiptoed closer and peeked behind the veil. There, fast asleep, was the most beautiful young woman he had ever seen. Her long black hair cascaded over the pillows, and her chest rose and fell with each gentle breath. He stood there, mesmerized, until his presence woke her. She sat up, startled to see a stranger in her room. But after he calmed her fears and explained his story, she invited him to sit. She brought him food and water, and as he ate, she revealed her secret. "The man outside making jaggery is my father," she said. "Don't worry," she smiled. "I will protect you, and I will teach you magic.